over 19 years, your eyes and ears on horse racing has been Tommy Walski's The Sport of King. On today's show, we'll find out how a successful trainer makes his barn tick. Our race of the week is the Emerald Downs. Tommy recaps some of the major stakes in racing across the nation. Virginia gets you caught up on all the news. We'll hit the archives in case you missed it. Our salute to the champion, remember, one of racing's equine heroes. And now here he is, BC's ambassador to the world of horse racing, Mr. Tommy Walski.
We open up today's program with an interesting and informative look at one of the top trainers here at Hastings Racecourse, who started out as a small trainer with only a few horses and now has one of the largest stables here at Hastings Racecourse. We're talking about trainer Dino Condilenios, and here's Dino's story.
I actually got my trainer's license when I was about, I'm going to say 21 or 22 years old. I was helping Dale Bingham and Wayne McGilvery, and my dad owned a couple of horses. Wayne was the one who sort of pushed me to get my license. Started a stable. I think I had two of my dad's horses, and then I had a couple of outside horses. A friend of my dad's gave me a couple of horses at the time. I won 2 of my first 5 starts. So, at that point I thought it was, going to be easy. This is easy. And then I think I went on to about have something like 30 starts without winning a race. So I won 2 of my first 5 and then didn't win a race until later on in the season. But yeah, it was tough. I had a lot, 4 or 5 really cheap horses, and I got lucky and ran out their conditions kind of early, which was why I won a couple of races early.
What are the obstacles with a small stable?
It all depends. I mean, it's obviously tough to make a living because, unless you have a really good, like a stake horse or something, you're not, you're not making a lot of money. But basically, you're just kind of, everybody does it just to kind of catch that break, right? Get that person that's going to give you some better horses, which eventually did happen for me. But it's tough. I'm telling you. I was good thing I was sort of living at home when I was in my late teens, early 20s. So it kind of it would have been tough. I had a night job. I used to waiter at night.
Oh, you did?
I did at the time. Yeah, my parents owned a restaurant, so I waitered at night, and that's sort of how I made my living at the time. It definitely wasn't from training horses for the.
Right now you're training for one big outfit. How did that come about?
I actually started training for Swift Thoroughbreds in 2001, I believe. But I had a lot of clients at the time. I probably had 50 to 60 horses at the time. And then about 2003 or 4, I don't remember, they approached me about going private and training only for them. And at first, said no.
That's a big decision.
It was. I mean, from a financial standpoint, it was a no-brainer. I should have, most people would have. But a lot of people had been with me for years, and they were very loyal to me, and I'm a very loyal type of person. So it was really hard for me to turn it, to turn it down. But then the Kemeneys and the Mechets are just such great people, nicest people you're ever going to find. And talked to Mr. and Mrs. Bennett, and I remember at the time Bob Leffler and his wife Linda and a few others, and they all said, you're crazy not to do this. I think trainer-owner communication is the one of the key elements of being successful. You have to talk things over. You have to, you need their input, and because you don't want to be on different sides of the fence. You all want to be on the same playing field and agreeing with what's going on. If you're not, then it's too much friction there, right? So you want all the decisions to be, talked over and discussed. And when I was a public trainer, I remember there were certain people that I worked for that used to say, here's some money, just go buy me some horses, and don't bother me. Just like basically, I won't bother you, and you don't bother me. Just tell me when my horse is running, right? And that's okay too, but. I like the communication part of it. I think that's one part of my job I really enjoy. I like, I'm a very social type of person, and I like meeting people, and I like people's input. You can never stop learning. So they people can teach you stuff, we discuss everything. Like even when I was public or private, it was the same for me.
Looks like most of your outfit is girls.
I do, and to some extent, it's by choice. I just find girls really like horses, more than men do in general. And the one thing I really believe in training horses is for horses to be happy. I think if they're happy, they'll do well, and they'll do well for you. and they're better caretakers when it comes to horses. You know, with men, I find it to be a little more. It's a job. I'm not saying all men. There's some really. I've got a couple of guys that are great, but I mean, but I just find the girls tend to they just love horses and they spoil them and everything else, and that's sort of the way I like my barn run.
What are you particularly looking for when you're hiring a groom, say?
Someone that is willing to do things the way I want it done, number one, and number two, you know, that they're reliable and easy to get along with. I mean, you just as long as they show up every day and they work hard and they try, you know, you can't really ask for too much more, and they're willing to learn and do things. 'Cause like I said, we're all, you know, trainers do things differently. Everybody has different ideas and different things, and sometimes a groom might have their own ideas about things, but I think that the best type of person to work for you is someone that's willing to do things exactly the way you want it done.
Dino, you back and forth from your barn to the racetrack, you're all over. Any special reason why you put so much miles on?
I like to walk back and forth with my horses because I like to, number one, talk to my exercise riders when they get off, as they're coming off the racetrack, because usually that horse is fresh on their mind, so they can talk to me about that particular horse. And number two, leading them onto the track, a lot of times the rider needs to get tied on. So it's tied on, when I mean tied on is, you know, tie their knot and adjust their stirrups and that sort of thing. So I've had some really nice horses over the years. I've been fortunate enough that people have supplied me with some pretty nice horses. Tatey's a great horse, and you know, but the one thing Lord Nelson had for sure, and I hope Tatey follows in his footsteps, but he was so good for so long, so many years, and that's hard to duplicate. Like, you very rarely see a horse run for 5 or 6. He was, I mean, older horse of the year 4 years in a row, I think, here, and you know, and close to being horse of the year, you know, a couple other seasons as well. Now, raw talent, yeah, this horse, Tatey's probably as good as Lord Nelson, if not better, for sure. He's pretty special, and you know, but I've had some like almost times in the barn. He's a really nice horse. I had Queen of My Nights. I've had Beautiful Stranger. 5 Point Star was a really good horse. You know, and I've had a lot of stakes, horses that have won a couple of stakes here and there too. So, I've been pretty lucky. I've had a lot of nice horses over the years.
Don't go away. The Sport of Kings. We'll be right back. And now to get you up to date with what's happening in and around the track, let's saddle up with our own Virginia Tulloch.
Sunday, May 23rd was named Community Day by Hastings Racecourse in honor of the New Stride Foundation. New Stride, a nonprofit organization benefiting retired racehorses, hosted a luncheon that was enjoyed by all in attendance. Congratulations to trainer Frank Barabee for his recent induction into the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame. Frank is the first trainer based at Hastings to receive such a prestigious honor.
Felt super, and I still didn't believe it there for a couple of days because, you know, I really didn't think I'd make it. I knew it was nice to be nominated, but to get in, it feels great. It really does.
Friday night kicked off the first of 4 days of back-to-back races over the Victoria long weekend. We wanted to know what sort of challenges go along with coordinating such an event. To answer that question, we spoke to Director of Racing, Paul Reineveld.
Part of the challenge is that you have so many horses that are ready to run at this point in time in the season, and as you add days, you have to add categories, and you spread the horse population out over those categories. So we took entries. We tried to take it a little conservatively and ran the 7 race cards for the 2 Fridays, but in the end we do take about 500 horses that are available to us, and now we're spreading them out over 2 weeks, and where typically we had about 180 running on a weekend, now we're looking to have 250 or so, and it does start to spread things a little thin, and you do get some of the 5 and 6 horse fields as a result.
Last year's BC Derby winning trainer Doris Harwood returned to Hastings from her Emerald Down stable to run Night Raider in Monday's Emerald Down Stakes. We asked Doris about her newest stakes horse and about her trip north.
You know, we're delighted to be here. I love this track. Our series from this point on down at Emeralds, the horses, all the fillies run further. There's no more sprinting. So we go from a mile up to a mile and an eighth and back to a mile in the last race of the year. So this race for me will help her kind of catch up with the other fillies, and she'll have her second out, and then we'll be ready for our race series down there. So we're just delighted to be here and hope we take enough money home to pay for our expenses and have a good time.
That's all the news for today. From the trackside at Hastings Racecourse, I'm Virginia Tellick, and now you're back on track.
Racing across the nation, where we follow all the top stakes races throughout North America. Racing Across the Nation is brought to you in memory of Jeff Robinson, owner and breeder at Heron Acres.
Now, as far as our Racing Across the Nation part of the program, we're going to mix it up a little. With the Belmont Stakes coming up, we decided to show you two races that to truly understand what the Belmont is all about, it is these two races. One is Secretariat's 1973 31-length victory and the gut-checking performance done by Affirmed Alidar in the 1978 Belmont. Here it is. If you want to see two good races, stay tuned.
Running on the turn now. For the turn of Secretariat. It looks like he's opening. Running is increasing. It's a 3.5. He's going into the turn. Secretariat holding on to a large lead. Turn is coming, and then it's a long way back to Mark Allen and twice the foot. They're on the turn. Secretariat is closing around. The first three turns are now rolling around in front of us. Secretariat is widening now. He is getting like a tremendous machine. Secretariat by 12. Secretariat by 13 lengths on the turn. Turn is dropping back. It looks like they'll take him today. As Mike Allen and Francis Hook are both coming up to him now. The Secretariat is all alone. He's out there almost a 16th of a mile away from the rest of the houses. Secretariat is in a position that he's been happy with that. He's under the step. Secretariat leads his field by 18 lengths. And now Francis Hook is second, and Mark Allen is moving down to third. They're in the step. Secretariat has opened a 17-length lead. He is going to be the Triple Crown winner. Here comes Secretariat to the ladder. An unbelievable, an amazing performance. He hits the base. 35 lengths from that. It's open practically second. Mark Allen third.
Three quarters, however, went in 1:14. The pace is still slow. They're moving into the turn. Affirmed holding ahead in front, and Alidar on the outside is challenging again. It's Affirmed by ahead on the turn. Alidar is second by 4.5. Along the inside, Judge Advocate, Noontime Spender, and Darby Creek Road now beginning to pick up the pace. Three quarters went in 14, a mile in 37 and 2. The pace is increasing as they come to the head of the stretch. It is still Affirmed as they come to the quarter pole. He's holding on to a head lead. Alidar is outside of him and challenging that lead. The two are heads apart, and Alidar's got a lead. Alidar put ahead in front, right in the middle of the stretch. It's Alidar and Affirmed battling back along the inside. We'll test these two to the wire. Affirmed under a left-hand whip. Alidar on the outside driving. Affirmed and Alidar heads apart. Affirmed's got a nose in front as they come onto the wire.
Now here's the part of the show we simply call In Case You Miss It. It's a chance for you to look back at the magic and the mystery of horse racing here in British Columbia from the Sport of Kings perspective. In case you missed it. Today on In Case You Missed It part of the program, we're going to be featuring April Friesen, one of the most popular riders here at Hastings Racecourse, who last week was injured in a horse racing spill. Now we shot this piece a couple of years ago, but with April being in the hospital at Vancouver General Hospital, this is our get well wishes from her many friends, in case you missed it.
It's been a dream of mine since I was probably about 6 years old. Told Mom and Dad I wanted to be a jockey. My grandfather was into horses hugely and got me into pony racing originally in Chilliwack. And from there, I went to Kamloops and went to the track and just said I wanted to be a jockey, and they started me out galloping and just took off from there.
What year would that be?
That was 1985. It's always been tougher as a girl. I mean, really, you have 3 strikes against you, right? I do anyways. 1, I'm tall. 2, I'm female. And 3, I'm fairly muscular for a woman to be strong enough to do this sport. So right off the hip hop, 3 strikes.
When you first started, was it difficult getting live mounts?
Actually, it wasn't too bad because I started on the B circuit. And of course, you know, you have to do your time. And back then we had racing every weekend, 2 days a week. We had 8 to 10 horse fields. We had decent riders there at the time. I mean, they're older riders. I learned a lot from, like Floyd Tompkins was riding then, Davy Burns was up there, Pat Bodnard was riding. I mean, it was a whole different world of riders than what they have now. They knew what they were doing, and they schooled you really quick. In '98, I think I retired here, and in that fall, I picked up training and did okay. Won a couple that fall.
Recently, you took out your jock's license. What made you do it once again?
You kind of get the itch again. My boyfriend has a few horses in training here, and I was training them, but you need clients and to make a real good go of it. It's all young stock that he has.
The transition this year from the trainer to the jockey, how is that going? And
I'm really enjoying riding right now because it's a whole different perspective of it, because I've gone from jockey to trainer back to jockey, and I'm one of these people who think that jockeys really need some time as a trainer to appreciate what they're sitting on.
Now, when I rode with you, you were one person, you didn't get intimidated. What brings that out of you?
Actually, I'd have to say probably riding for those years in Alberta. They were pretty aggressive. I've always been an aggressive person. Like I said, I'm kind of bullheaded and I've been aggressive. And the guys in Alberta, especially the older guys, they were tough. And if you weren't tough and showed, you had thick skin, you wouldn't make it. I'm getting better mounts now. I've had a lot of positive comebacks from people saying, you're doing good out there, you look good, doesn't seem like you've lost it type stuff. And what would I like to see? Just fairly successful end of the meet here, and then I'll decide what I want to do next year.
Here's a little update on April's condition, what is going to be happening in the future for her. On June 19 here at Hastings Racecourse, her friends and fellow workers are going to be having a fundraiser to help defray some of her expenses that are coming up.
Time now for Sport of Kings trivia. Here is today's trivia question. The Belmont Stakes has produced a number of interesting payouts. The shortest price winner was Count Fleet at $2.10 back in 1943. I want to know what the largest payout was for a winner of the Belmont. Well, the answer for you in just a moment. Don't go away. The Sport of Kings. We'll be right back. Time now for the answer to today's trivia question. Back in 2002, Sareva took home the checkered flag at odds of 70-1, rewarding his backers with a fantastic $142.50. Can't get enough trivia? Check out the Derby Bar and Grill Daily Trivia Contest at derbybarandgrill.com. Sport of Kings shines its camera on the equine heroes competing for glory in the biggest weekly Hastings race. We call it our Race of the Week. The Race of the Week is brought to you by Nick's Spaghetti House. Nick's Spaghetti House, combining great food in a horse racing atmosphere.
Today on our Race of the Week, brought to you by Nick's Spaghetti House, you are all in for a treat as we look at the 3-year-old fillies here at Hastings and in the Greater Northwest as they compete. The $50,000 Emerald Down Stakes, it's at 6.5 furlongs. Pretty exciting finish you will enjoy. Let's turn the microphone over to Brooke Watt.
Haberdasher is owned by Swift Thoroughbreds. Haberdasher set the early pace in her only Hastings start and will most likely be part of the early pace today.
Looks like she's got pretty good tactical speed. there is a little bit both inside and outside of me, so I'm just going to have to play the break and set it accordingly.
Ebony and Ice is owned by Leif Nordahl. Ebony and Ice will be looking to take advantage of a fast pace today.
For her to get something, she depends on some pace, and she likes the track when it's got some water on it. It definitely helps her out sprinting.
Dearest Princess is owned by RJT Thoroughbreds. Dearest Princess has won 3 in a row coming into today's race, and she'll be tracking just off the pace.
She's a real trier. She gives you an effort every time you lead her over there. She's a nice filly coming off a good win. She's got a good style, her speed in the race, and she's got that stalking type of speed where she lays right on them. But these races are never easy. You got to get the luck to go with you.
Vying Tiger is owned by 5G Stable and J&L Gallagher. Vying Tiger is coming off a stellar 2-year-old season and will look to improve off her only start this year.
You know, expecting her to run better this time, and hopefully she'll break better, because she likes to break away from there and lay right up there. So,
Night Raider is owned by Fab 5 Farm. Night Raider is an Emerald Downs invader looking to set an early fast pace.
Mario Gutierrez got on her, and I think he was very pleased with how she performed. She kind of took one lap looking around, and the next lap she said, "Let's go. I know where I'm at." So that was fun. He enjoyed getting on her, and I was pleased with how she shipped up here.
Victorious Vi is owned by Sandlin Stable. Victorious Vi makes her season debut and will appreciate the fast early pace.
Coming into the race well, we had to skip the prep race, an allowance race, because of a little bit of a virus that went through her, but she didn't miss any training other than her work. She's training like a bear. She's doing pretty well.
Llama Lynch is owned by RJT Thoroughbreds. Llama Lynch is tackling this distance for the first time today.
Yeah, but that's tough going, first time out this year, and the horses they already ran, so it's going to be tough for her.
Otero is owned by Tres Hombres. Otero's no stranger to hitting the board, having never finished worse than second.
The way she ran last time, she ran behind horses and finished pretty good, so I think I got a really good shot.
And now let's enjoy this strong field of fillies. They're going 6.5 furlongs in the 15th running of the Emerald Downs.
There they go. Field of 8, 3-year-old fillies sent on the way in the Emerald Downs, and Vying Tiger quickest to show right on the early lead. Victorious Vi in second, Haberdasher in between runners. Then it's back to Dearest Princess Otero. Wide out on the track is Night Raider. Then La Malinche. Ebony and Ice a trailer, but she's only 6 off the lead. Into the clubhouse turn they go, and Vying Tiger shows the way now by a little over a length. Victorious Vi second by a neck. On the outside is Haberdasher in third. La Malinche in fourth. Dearest Princess fifth. Otero sixth. Night Raider on the outside in seventh. Ebony and Ice is eighth. But once again, she's only 6 or 7 off the lead. Opening quarter in 22 and 3. To the 5/16 marker they go. And Vying Tiger, no pressure. She leads it by a little over a length. It's Victorious Vi in second. Otero is on the move. La Malinche, Dearest Princess, Haberdasher, Night Raider, and Ebony and Ice. The half 45 and 4 as they get set to turn for home. It's Vying Tiger and Victorious Vi, Otero and Dearest Princess. Down the lane they come. Vying Tiger now by a nose. Victorious Vi, Otero, Dearest Princess ranging up on the outside. 4 across the track. Otero, Dearest Princess, Otero to score. Dearest Princess second. It'll be a photo for third.
I was laying 4 and 5th. I got sat back a little bit in the first turn because I thought the speed is going to be more speed, and didn't show up. The Seattle horse didn't show up the speed that I thought is going to show up. And we struggled in the first 16 out of the gate to get position. And I said, oh, I'm in trouble. Because I could have laid second easily. So anyway, I said, I'm going to save her once I can, because, she proved last time that she ran from behind. And I guess I got all the breaks from now on. And turning for home, I thought I was not going to make it down. But this filly, she's training so good, and she just fights to the end. We got lucky to get there, too.
One of the most exciting finishes at the end, Frank. It was really awesome.
Yeah, no, it was really good. It's good.
Did you think you won it?
Well, yes. In the end, she started keep digging and digging, and I know I won it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Tom.
Don't go away. The Sport of Kings will be right back.
Today on our Salute to the Champions, brought to you by the Vancouver Province, we have a tie-in with today's Trivia Challenge for you. The race you're about to watch, it's the 2002 Belmont Stakes. In this race, you're going to be looking at War Emblem, trying to go for the Triple Crown. Unfortunately, he gets denied by our Trivia Challenge horse. It's the 2002 Belmont Stakes, 70-1 shot.
The Salute to the Champions is brought to you by the Province Sports, where you can read Tommy Walski's column, Hoss Talk, every Friday. The Province Sports, it all starts here.
And they're off. And War Emblem's quest for the Triple Crown. He did not break alertly. War Emblem was off near the back of the pack. They race for the clubhouse turn, and Medaglia d'Oro is sent today. And Wiseman's Ferry toward the inside. And there goes War Emblem now, and he splits horses as they move into the first turn. He's now third in between horses. And then on the outside, that's Proud Citizen now ranging up to be fourth. Magic Wisner is fifth. Long Shot Sarava sixth on the outside. Sunday Break no better than seventh at this point. Perfect Drift is eighth on the outside. Then Artax 2, followed by Essence of Dubai. Like a Hero trails the field. War Emblem is fourth, and he's bottled up on the inside as they make their way into the backstretch. The first quarter in 24 seconds flat. Wiseman's Ferry leads the way into the backstretch. Medaglia d'Oro running in second. Proud Citizen on the outside. And they have effectively bottled up War Emblem. He is now fourth as they continue their run down the backstretch. Hard held is War Emblem. And then Sarava's right alongside him with 7/8 of a mile to go. Then there's a break of 2.5 lengths. Back to Magic Wisner. On the outside of him, Sunday Break. Perfect Drift. Just floating along comfortably. He's about 8 or 9 lengths from the lead. They continue up the backstretch. They're halfway home in the Belmont. The pace has been a sensible one. 3 quarters and 12-1, and there's an inviting opening at the inside for War Emblem, and he's making his move with 5 furlongs to go. War Emblem, Medaglia d'Oro now heads apart for the lead. Wiseman's Ferry is tailing off now. Proud Citizen is poised on the outside. Sunday Break has come alive. 4 furlongs to go. Medaglia d'Oro in an all-out battle here with War Emblem. Medaglia d'Oro by a neck. War Emblem. Proud Citizen looms a threat. He's on the outside third with 3 furlongs to go. Sarava, the big long shot, is running in fourth. Sunday Break is fifth. Magic Wisner beginning to move up now on the outside. He's 7 lengths from the lead. And War Emblem is toiling as they turn for home. Medaglia d'Oro, Sunday Break. Sarava has come on through to take the lead. And War Emblem has given way. No Triple Crown for the 24th year. Here comes Sarava and Medaglia d'Oro. They're striding to the line together. Sarava on the outside. Medaglia d'Oro toward the rail. They're coming down to the finish. A huge upset is looming here. Under the line. Sarava has won the biggest long shot in the history of the Belmont Stakes at 70-1. Medaglia d'Oro was finishing second there. And farther back, Sunday Break. And a huge disappointment today for War Emblem. He was off poorly, never got rolling, and faded in the stretch. So once again, the Triple Crown will go unclaimed, but a worthy winner today in Sarava.
Okay, that's it for this edition of the Sport of Kings. And once again, on behalf of everyone here, we would like to say thank you for allowing us to spend this last half hour with you on this Saturday morning. But before we go, next week, if you missed part of today's show, it will be on next week. The reason we're doing this, we had to do like everybody else, a budget cut. Remain on the air. This is what we're doing. Remember to keep them straight, or we are going to get you on that final turn. Enjoy the weekend.